Stop. I gotta do this. Stop. You're freaking me out, man. You're freaking me out, man. Hello. Welcome to Uncle Rico's Storytime. I feel like I'm emerging from that rough month and a half. Since I got home, my brain has just been mush. Starting to, like, the hardest part after tragedy like that is, like, hey, do I make a cup of coffee or brush my teeth? And your brain is like, I'm in the bathroom now, brush teeth, coffee bad for teeth. Like, it doesn't connect. And I've always been, I'm a puzzle guy, so when I go about my day, even when I get curveballs thrown, I enjoy going, so if I go, all right, I gotta go to the store and get a set of screws, I'm like, all right, maximizing that, thinking about, the routes, everything like that. Okay, I'm gonna swing by there. I can stop and grab bacon and lettuce and tomato for sandwich for lunch later, da da da. So I've always been really good at that. But, like, the last couple of months after dealing with my stepdad passing away, it's like just a fog, and I absolutely hate that. But I'm now feeling a lot better. I've skated a couple of times, which was such a huge help. I need to say it more, but, like, if you're dealing with any kind of mental stuff, I know it's anti how you're feeling. But you need to get out. You need to get your juices going. You need to force yourself. Have something that you enjoy, that you don't have to force yourself to do that hard. It's hard to convince yourself to go to the gym when you feel like shit. You don't want to leave the house. You feel like you look like shit. You feel like everything you do is worthless. When you're thinking about all these things, it's impossible to go, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go to the gym. Right? So have something that you enjoy as a backup when you get to these low points. And this wasn't a self-induced low point for me. This was just a bunch of shit going wrong, and then, an ultimate bad shit thing going wrong. But if you have a walk in the park, a quick hike, but something a little bit physical to get you going. When I was really bad with my back issues, pool work was the best. Side story. But it was when your back is bad, you're hunched over, making it worse. You're depressed, making it worse. You don't want to leave, making it worse. You go home and ice and do all this stuff, but you sit in a lazy boy. And you gotta force yourself to get up and get through that initial barrier. You're gonna feel better. Anytime that, because of my back, even in my low points, I know that I have to go and get healthy. Because during a week-long stretch where, I don't want to see anybody or whatever, I don't ever leave, I know that I'm in pain 2 days of not doing anything. I need to keep my legs healthy, or my lower back is just completely effed. So, but either way, went way off tangent. Things are better. Hockey relieved a lot of that. Um, I had a really good week. I think my team has. I thought my team has disbanded. That was pretty much the consensus during that month long snafu. Um, Turns out I think there is rebirth of the tens. We're going to a different league in the fall. We won the championship at this last league, and then I just didn't have the heart in me to run around looking for a new home and everything, and the other captain was super busy, so but he found a home for us a little bit down south, so we might there might still be life in the tens. But I went to this free agent eval and did pretty good. Apparently my thing is make a bunch of really amazing saves and then give up a really easy one. That seems to be my thing, which if anybody has partake in any sporting activities with me, that's pretty much my thing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Holy shit, dude, are you retarded? I gotta stop saying that word. Yeah. Things are going better. Picked up a bunch of, I had gone with a bunch of cordless Ryobis and bought a bunch of expensive, better batteries that were generic, and those don't charge or keep slipping out of my tools, so worthless. And then stumbled upon two like quick deals, cheap deals for craftsmen. So made a quick switch over, which is nice because since I have two properties, then I can have one here, one up there. Boom, bing pot. So that's pretty nice. Under $100, I ended up with I think like 8 batteries and 6 chargers, two blowers, 3 weed eaters that I won't ever use, bunch of drills and stuff, impacts and stuff. I need a grinder. Got a sawzall, which is nice. So yeah, got 2 systems now, which is nice. Good deal. Back was real bad, better now. Um, the one, we'll get through it. It's okay. The one deal, when I was in Sunday, I was cuddling with the dogs, and I was in this like weird hunched over, like just a bad, horrible position, and was in it for a good while watching a movie. And as soon as I started to move, I was like, "Oh, this is not solid. You're a fucking idiot." So I had this catch up in my sternum, and I couldn't breathe in deep. It would catch up in my sternum, but I also think I caught a quick Rona. Back in my day, we called it getting sick. But I think I caught like a version of the Rona at the same time because I like had no appetite, couldn't eat. It might have been my anger. I don't know. We don't know, but we're over it. But yeah, the sternum catch all day Sunday, and I'm just feeling like shit. I'm right in the middle of it, and I'm going through. I'm getting online and getting even mad. I'm arguing everybody on there. I'm like, won't go down that road. But I probably shouldn't wear this hat during this. Probably shouldn't wear a hat during podcasts, I guess, or shouldn't get that stoned. Yeah. Um, so at this free agent eval and killing it, and uh, afterwards I skate up to it's to get into my old league, and I used to skate on two teams at different times. That in this old league, I was with this team called Strange Brood, great team, and then don't take things too seriously. They go on trips and everything like that. And then we go out to Anaheim a couple times for like a Valentine's Day tournament type thing, which was really cool. But they hang out together outside of hockey all the time, and like their kids all skate together and everything like that. Like great team. But moved out to California during the Rona, and then when I came back, they were full up. They always have like a super long waiting list, and then whenever they have openings, they have like, oh, it's whoever's sister, which I totally understand. Like on the totem pole where I'm at, like all good. So jumped on to I got onto the expansion team, the tens that like dissolved because of disc expansion, and jumped onto another team called Johnny Boozers, which was okay, but the exact opposite of Strange Brood. Like they have to shake hands after every goal, like forced teamwork stuff. But nobody really hung out. I think there were like pairs that would hang out or whatever, but nobody would really hang out much. The assistant captain would be like, 7-2, and he's like, pedal to the metal, man, pedal to the metal, guys, let's keep going, be aggressive. I'm like, dude, this is D-League, man. Like, you're on the other end of this thing. It's not good. Like, puck control, have fun, try some fun shit with the puck every once in a while. But yeah, don't fire it too much on the goalie. Would be my response. So I went to this free agent eval and did really good. Went up to the other goaltender. I was like, "Yeah, you trying to get in?" And he's like, "Fuck no, they don't have an opening." So I'm like, "Great." I'm like, well, I think maybe I'll go down to G instead of trying. I think I could probably go up, go play in C. I'm new. And he's like, oh, and I go, I think I'm gonna go down to G. And he goes, nope. So I was like, fuck, I'll just go to these sessions and try to keep working out. So I go to this late night session last night, and I walk in, and like my old school, like just guys that are good guys, like my boys are there. I walk into the locker room, and there's two guys in there, and they're both in there. And just previously, I went to the two teams, Johnny Boozers and Strange Brood, and I found out that they were playing right after each other in the playoffs. So I figured I would bring my old jerseys for each team and wear them, and then I was like, oh, there'll be a funny like middle where they're like going off, and I'll be like, oh, why are you wearing them? I'm like, oh. But I didn't realize that I had shaved my beard and the hair was gone. But I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so said hi to both these teams, and then did this late night skate last night, and I walk in, and these two guys are there, and I didn't even know that they were buddies, and I'm like, I was like, what the fuck? And I'm bringing my goaltending stuff in, and I used to skate out also. Okay, so I haven't seen these guys in forever, and they're just good guys, like good heart, but they're young guys, really young guys, like early 20s. Like I think they were just turning 21 when I met them, and it was through hockey. So I go to this late night skate last night, and I walk in, and I'm clean shaven, short hair, pulling my goaltender bag. Nobody ever recognizes me. And I walk in, and Shu, uh, this kid, Steven, is this just real tall, lanky, fucking, like, beautiful supermodel kid. Long, gorgeous hair. Just got married, beautiful wife, but just a gorgeous kid. And good hockey player. So smooth on the ice. But he's one of those guys where, like, straight dudes are like, fuck, that's a handsome dude, you know. But he stops like mid conversation and looks at me and he goes, holy shit. And I go, holy shit. And then the other Steven goes, holy shit. And I go, holy shit. Because now they're recognizing me. And I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, what the fuck? So just had a great session last night. It was fun. It was late night. We got out of there at like 11 o'clock. I was like, next week, let's go drinking for a little bit. But made like 4 or 5 amazing saves in a row. Like, bam, bam, bam. They were controlling the puck in our zone like crazy. Bam, bam, bam. And they cleared out of the zone, and the coach like power skates up to me. And at these sessions, this one was a little different because they do a little bit more goalie work. But normally they don't really give the goaltenders too much regard. We're just, a body there to shoot on. But the coach like power skated up to me after we cleared the zone and was like, nice fucking saves, man. And I was like, thanks. And then a little bit after that, as soon as they brought it into the zone, this guy who is a beginner and an older beginner, couldn't even really skate, much less handle the puck, manages to fire the puck on me, but not really fire, more like gently glides the puck on me and 5 holes me for a goal. So my D walks up, he's like, oh, I feel like you popped your cherry on those ones before, like, no big deal. I go, he hasn't scored in a while, blah, 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 like playing it off like I let him score. Yeah, no, I didn't. So, but I've been thinking like all of my past sessions. No, I've had some pretty good sessions where I was locked in. I'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, if it's anything like my normal game, I'm expecting a lot of amazing stuff and a lot of bonehead stuff. So, but yeah, hockey has improved. I did find out that my one former team, the Boozers, I guess weren't feeling me, which sucks because there were a bunch of them that like seemed to be super friendly. A few of them were, one of them was a veteran, which was like, dude, I don't know, man. I thought we were always solid, but I guess he didn't like that I smoked pot. He was an MP in the Marines, which I guess I'm all right with, but holy smokes, man. Like, I don't know, any veterans I've ever, like, dude, that's one thing that we're good with, Like, we may disagree with, like, our politics or whatever, or, sports teams or whatever, but, it's, there's always been that absolute, bare minimum, but still there, level of respect there. That's always, it's always like, man, you're still a fucking veteran. We're good. So, but apparently it was always, and I'm sure that this is just one guy is telling me this or whatever, and I'm sure he was just bitching about it, but I guess he didn't like the fact that I was smoking. Like, he's like, oh, smokes like, you know, when he left him out by his car. Like, so I guess whatever. But yeah, I'm finding a lot of people still have a really bad stigma about pot. I just got into it with this girl online, and she's like, "Yeah, bong videos," and it was a video of me accidentally spilling a bong on myself, and which is pretty gross. I was wearing a wife beater, which is gross or whatever, but fuck, a little deprecation is always good. So, yeah, that was kind of funny. She was like, on, she was like, Tinder, da 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 da, and I was like, well, I hit you up, I got one response from you, and that was it, like always. And she was like, that Bond video, helped me decide right away, da da da. I was like, well, that happened like 2 years. I posted that like 2 years after we matched, and she gets a free pass though, cancer stuff. So she gets a free pass to vent online and take shots. That's all good, but yeah, doesn't excuse the fact, ladies. You respond one time, and then that's it. Like, there's something wrong with y'all. It's all the same thing, Like, so this is my idea for a dating app. You have to give reasons, like why. You know what I mean? And you can rate people. And you still can't be rude and be like, she's fat, or like, she's ugly, whatever. Even so, yeah. Like, the other person can go, like, you can do reports. Like, you can get each person's, like, you can pull up and see what they comment, and see everybody's red flag. Obviously somebody that's on social media calling somebody fat or ugly or so, whatever, is going to have the same thing. So you're going to see whether or not they are a bully. You're going to see whether or not they automatically send you dick pics. You're going to see, it still wouldn't get girls to stop ghosting guys. Maybe it would help get rid of swine rings. Either way, let's not get into my dating app. I am way too stoned for that. I think I've gone off tangent like 18,000 times already. That's a record. Imagine my first idea was that was to interview people. My first idea for this podcast was to get super retarded drunk and interview, just me, because I find myself hilarious when I'm super retarded drunk. But always be fucked up and interview different, not fucked up, but like either drunk or sober. And then interview different walks of life. You're homeless. You're, immigrant. You're sex worker. You're drug addict. You're disabled veteran. You're hippie that believes that his Jesus is a spaghetti monster. I don't know. I like to get, when I was battling my alcoholism, I would like to get super, super drunk wherever I am and engage in conversations with homeless people. I was once in Madison when a homeless man shared his PBR with me. It's a pretty cool moment. Not like his beer, but like he had a sixer. Dude. So, alright, man. Side note, I gave him a 20 spot when I left, and I saw him the very next morning. Him, his two buddies, they all had these monstrous handles of alcohol, and they were all walking down an alleyway, and I couldn't be too mad at them. Like, you know, at least they were smart about it, and he was sharing, which is a good thing. So, oh, another tangent. But yeah, I originally wanted to be stoned or drunk and talk to everybody. Would have been excruciating. We're 25 minutes into this and we haven't even... What did I want to talk about? Hockey. We talked about things are better. Got into it with my family when I went back, and I'm still not over it. And I feel like it's my older sister at the root of the problem, and that's okay. I knew that our relationship would never, the way things were going, I knew that things would always be different, never really get any better. So this thing with my stepdad and the way that I saw her behave, and the way that my other side of the family reacted to her, I could kind of tell that she had gotten in there and started to do her things. There was a lot of eye rolling and stuff when there was conversations, and it wasn't about me or whatever, but I like to kick back and just watch people. You learn a lot about somebody. I've always been good at body language and watching and seeing. But yeah, so I knew it wasn't going to get any better. And then this stuff with my stepdad, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to go the rest of my life without talking to her again, unless something really bad happens. But I won't. I don't think I'll make it back for nephew or niece wedding or anything like that. I think we're past that. And it ultimately no, it's not. I just think I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not. I keep like, I'm not gonna bash family, but it's a religion and a hypocrite. You know, you can't. If you believe in religion, you got to be a good person. You know. Otherwise, you're fucking full of shit. If you believe in Jesus Christ, do as Jesus Christ fucking says and does, or you're a fucking hypocrite. Help the needy. Help a stranger. Don't be image obsessed and don't backstab, don't lie, don't judge, don't be a bigot, don't hate. I'm guilty of hating, not hating, but like, I guess spreading hate. I need to stop that. But I'll get online to fight when I'm in a horrible mood, and I won't pick the fight, but I know how to and then once they're like, you fucking moron, then I'll be like, oh, okay. The guy who looks like he lives with his sibling parents in the hills wants to start throwing personal insults. I will abide. The problem is I hit so hard that it typically incites riots. But I need to stop that. I've got a plan for that. It's just a horrible way to start your day. Social media is. So, um, I'm keeping it because I want to start promoting this podcast because of the charity and everything. So we got good stuff coming. I know I say that every podcast, but this time it's real. We got through a podcast. Cheeky, he's sleeping right now down here. But yeah, things are better. Um, oh, I did hear about the shit about my old team. So I found out that like a bunch of the old team guys. Well, I was talking to this guy who doesn't like to talk shit about people, and he was like, yeah, da 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 da. He had said something where I kind of poked him and got the information out of him, where he was like, oh, da 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 da, and I was like, what, Lane? The dude's my boy. Like I've seen him a couple times. Like I thought we were cool. Like we played, like we were a pretty good defensive pairing, and I was like, I thought he was former. I thought he was a veteran. And my buddy who's a veteran was like, yeah, he is, but he's like strict. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Strict. What the fuck is a strict veteran? And he's like, oh, he was an MP in the Marines. And I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, as soon as you throw in Marines, you're like, okay, it's a little bit crazy. And then you're like, MP, what, I mean, okay, so he's got a stick up his ass. Dude hunts, fishes, comes in drunk as fuck, drinks in the locker room. I thought he was my kind of dude, you know. And it's like, well, you know, he's always bitching about the smoke, you know, and the long hair and like the hippie stuff. I was like, okay. But then we started talking about these other two, where I was like, what? There was like I see him at skate sessions and shit. We bullshit for 5 or 10 minutes, and he's like, well, they can, you know, they heard you like talking politics, da 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 da, and I'm like, so they heard me talking anti their political view, and immediately wrote me off as a bad guy. They realized that like I was talking to the other people, like more than half of the locker room has that view. And they're like, he's like, well, it's because you're so outspoken about it. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. I will, either way. People that I thought I was cool with, I guess aren't. Which I'm fine with. But don't be two-faced about it, you know? The people that I don't like, they know that I don't like them. And it's usually because I tell them the reason why I don't like them. And that is why people think I'm an asshole, I guess. That's why I have to get up to my mountain and surround myself with dogs. And then we'll be just fine, won't we, cheeky cheeks? Alright. Ooh, thank you, ass man. 1289. I always thought it was funny when the OnlyFans girls like thank their bling 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 bling, and they're like, oh, thanks, King Daddy 74 So stupid. Yeah, I watch OnlyFans. I do the OnlyFans thing. I'm single, and it's kind of free porn. um, yeah. So let's end on that, I guess. Now that we're talking about that subject, let's. I think that's a good time to wrap things up. Um, yeah, but things are better. My mom has settled down in Ohio. She went along with being checked into senior living. She's doing good down there. She hasn't opened up yet, but she will if they get her out of a rut and get her up and get her out. Kind of stuff should be just fine down there. I think it'll be a good move for her. So, but I was doing all my planning and like trying to like figure out the like closest hotel to my favorite restaurant. There's a restaurant in town that gives you a 25% veteran discount, drinks and food. Not only that, but they have the best frickin' wings in the world. Yeah. Yep. I have a certain style to my wings, and they like do it. So I find a place for my wings, and I don't eat wings anymore. They told me I went into the VA. They told me that my cholesterol was high, so I don't do wings anymore. If I do wings, they're baked. But back in the day, when I'd eat my wings, I'd always get them the same way. Um, we call it once I trained a place where I'd go to, we called it jerkified, but it's like a double cook. So I tell them triple crispy, sauce it, leave it under the heat lamp for a good 5 to 10 minutes. No bullshit. 10 minutes is not an exaggeration. If you want to leave it, if the cook wants to leave it up there. And I'm like, I'm sorry about this, but I'll take care of you. Like, I'm not being a pain in the ass. I'm in this industry. Like, this is the only thing that I modify and am weird about. But leave it in the heat lamp for a little while. And so I go to this Quaker steak place, and I'm doing my thing with the server, and like telling her, and she's just like, mm-hmm. And as I'm telling her all this, I'm like, God damn it, she's gonna go back there and put in crispy, you know, and these wings come out, and what they do is they're like super. She probably did. I mean, they were crispy for me. No, because I tried my buddies too, and his were crispy. So they're like crispier wings. But they sauce them and they leave them in the heat lamp, and I like that because the sauce is not so like frickin' all over you. You're not swimming in it, right? It's on. It's like thickened on there, you know. Yeah, right. So they leave them in the heat lamp, and then with a quick, beautiful drizzle of that sauce, and then send them out. So good. And then I found out about the discount also. This was when I had my barbecue restaurant in Madison. So this Quaker Steak is a Midwest kind of restaurant chain. So, but I was scoping all these places out in Ohio, being crazy about my spending and everything, trying to maximize, because I figure, oh, thanks, tit boy 75. Tits are thank you, thank you. Tits are the best. Tit lover. Thanks, tit lover boy 6'2". So I'm figuring out all these different places, and then the family stuff. I think, yeah, I feel it getting worse. I have a sister-in-law's brother-in-law's somebody, whatever, who is just like me and him just got like dude, we'll joke around about the most fucked up shit and instantly be like, that's fucking hilarious. So, but I sent him a pretty funny. I had a really good idea after my hockey practice last night, and sent him a really funny voice memo. Didn't get I knew that he saw it and didn't get reaction, so I was like, how about the fuck? And sent him another one. I was like, how about the fuck? I was like, oh, I bet you I am out of. There could be a silence net set up around me currently, which would only support my deductions. But then I was like, fuck, you know what? They got this shit. I'm not coming to fucking visit them. I mean, I would still come to visit my mom. I'm going out there because I've got to volunteer a little. I was a big brother out here for like, I don't know, I think it was like 6 or 7 years. But he's graduating from high school, which is good. He moved out to Ohio, and which was also good. His mom had, I think, like 5 or 6 boys, and they were all with different dads. Her last 2 was with the same. No, he was a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend that went to jail. When he came out of jail, he jumped back with her right away. So he started living with her right away. And they had the 2 boys and then Jay. Jay was the oldest. And my little Jay just has a really good heart. He's a big dude. Big scary black kid, but very shy, very compassionate, very gentle. Very thoughtful, considerate, smart. And this guy that got out of prison saw that and started picking on him. There was this one time Jay calls me up crying, and he's like, he fucked up my hair. This guy said he could cut hair. I saw it. It was he could cut hair, but he cut the 2 kids. I think they were his. But he cut the 2 kids' hair, and then he straight up fucked up. He fucked up Jay's line bad. I brought him into the barber. I brought him into a barber and paid for him to like salvage it. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I did that. That was on purpose. So, but luckily they moved from Arizona to Ohio, and they moved to Columbus, which is only like 2 hours away from Canton, where my mom is and my, family, which, only a year ago talked to me all the time and would be excited about me coming out, but now apparently not. But I realized, I was like, you know what? I was like, alright, I don't have to fucking worry about any of this shit. Cause I'm come for my mom and my little, and that's it. So, I shortened the trip. I was gonna drive out there with my dogs. It's like, alright, fly out for the weekend. I'll do my little's graduation. I'll stay down in Columbus. I'll spend a day and a half with my mom, and peace out. So, weight off my shoulder, and I won't say that. That's mean. But yeah. Either way, I'm excited to get down there and cheat on my diet. Pulling my head out of my ass. I've realized that I gotta start eating better. So, getting rid of the wings. I do eat the fresh fruit smoothies and yogurt and orange juice, pure orange juice. pure juice, at least not full orange juice. Um, but I get this apple orange pineapple blend that doesn't have pulp and stuff in there, which is so good, but it's expensive. And it was on super sale yesterday, which was the 15th. And I always get Veterans Day. I always go shop on my Veterans Day because I get another 10% on there. And $160 in groceries, and it was down to 95 when I checked out. Maybe somebody's out there. Normally that works. I might be signing out, but yeah, Mom's doing well. Ohio's doing not good, but it'll be a good trip. It'll be a fun month. We've got the graduation. We've got the movie premiere for the Tucson thing, which will be fun. And then, what was the other thing going? Oh, somebody is here. Okay. Hey, I keep finding out that some really strange people watch my podcast. This one guy, Steven, who, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, I watch Uncle Rico's. He said it on that to me on the eyes after he scored. He's just a really he's just a really great kid. Love him to death. Really good hockey player. So he came in on me and just made it look sick. He makes goalies look sick. Like he's a good hockey player. And he scored on me, but it wasn't like he was trying. I was kind of occupied with somebody else, and he was coming in, and I was like, not even gonna. And so he just kind of bloop, threw her in the net. But when he skated by, he was like, smoke that, Rico! So, but he was like, in the locker room, he was like, yeah, man, I watch Uncle Rico's, da da da. And then when I was back in La Crosse, I met this kid who he's friends with my little brother, and he was like, we were at the concert, and he's like, yeah, I watch your podcast all the time. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. I go, how did you discover it? And he goes, I don't even remember, but yeah, I watch him all the time. I think he said he was a subscriber. He was his older sister. I had a crush on, and she came to my house one night when I was back from the Navy. So yeah, she had a crush on me. We had a crush on each other, but nothing, ever happened, kind of thing. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I watch your podcast. So now that I am starting up this charity for dogs and veterans, I'm asking people to please comment and share and stuff. People keep bringing up like, oh my god, dude. It's like I couldn't understand why you were getting church boners, but until I realized like they're not church boners. I was like, no, they're mystery boners. And he's like, yeah. He goes, so I know in the past I have told you that people said they would get them riding bikes. My one buddy was like, yeah, they're bike boners. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I would get them when I would ride bikes. I don't know. And I'm like, pedal bikes. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's... And then I told another one of my buddies, watched the podcast, and then Hockey Buddy in the locker room. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you that church boner thing." He's like, "Yeah, I called them dinner boners," and I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Dude, I would always get them at the dinner table, the family dinner table," and I'm like, "That's pretty weird." He's like, "Hey man, yeah, you don't, when you go through puberty, man, they would happen. And it wouldn't be, I mean, yeah, they would happen all the time, or not all the time, but like sporadic places or whatever, but like sometimes there was something. There must have been something, you know, that, happy or whatever. I don't know why mine would have happened in church, because that was always a place that I had always thought about. And that podcast is coming. That'll be a fun one. That'll have that. I'm sure that'll open up the floodgates on my sister. But I've always battled with religion. I would have to go into CCD, and I'm like, I'm the one that is like, hey, if they parted this Red Sea and like caravaned across, would there not be like wagon wheels and old wrenches and stuff like that? And, I cleaned it up. God went through and cleaned up there. Like, wouldn't there be, I mean, there would even be like fossils. We would still be finding fossils of like, I don't know, canine poop matter or something. I don't know. Science. Well, it's a miracle. Yeah, I'm not cool with that. And once I got older and started seeing like the evil that was in the house, I was like, that's counterproductive. So, but yeah, that one will be forthcoming. But yeah, things are doing a little bit better. Kind of had to force myself on here because when you're feeling like shit and kind of battling through those bad segments, obviously the last thing you want to do is go on to here and be productive at all. So, but yeah, I kind of want to force myself to rip out a podcast and say that things are going better. One thing which is really messed up is when I felt like I was going to talk about this earlier and I didn't, because I think me bawling like a baby is old hat now. But one of the craftsmen, so I'm just going to talk about it quick because I want to talk about it because I'm fucking angry. But this did help me rip myself out of my depression. Luckily, yesterday I went to Sunday when I was at, just kind of feeling shit. I had the catching the sternum thing, and got on social media and they found this little girl's body out in the desert, and I didn't even want to read about the details because obviously all you need to do is read the headline and know that is not going to be good. So I saw the post on I'm on this 411 info thing, which has turned into more like a bunch of Karens bitching about stuff instead of actual info, and somebody posted it on there and I saw it and I was like, oh, God, no, I'm not even going to fucking click on that thing now. So, but I live in this kind of outside far reach of Phoenix, and they found this girl's body just outside of where I'm at in the desert, a good ways. And yesterday I ran over to this for this deal for the Craftsman, the cordless stuff, and right on the corner of this dude's where this guy's trailer was, had all these flowers for this. There was a memorial set up for this kid. So I said, I pulled up. I said, "Hey, accident out there, huh?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, I think something about. Oh, I said, car accident out there, huh? And he goes, no, that was a bad one. I go, oh, and then you know what? I don't even want to hear about it because that'll just make me angry and fuck me up. And he's like, yeah, I hear you. And then so we're talking about the cordless stuff and everything, and he goes, talking about the cordless stuff, and he goes, yeah, that's the girl they found out in the desert. Fuck. And he starts telling me the details about it, and I go, seriously, man, I don't wanna. I go, sir, I got cracked in the head when I was in the Navy, and I get like super emotional now. And I go, I never used to, but I go, I lose my shit, and I always tell everybody, like, joke, I go, I'll lose my shit watching a commercial. Like, I watched a fucking butter commercial and lost it. So I'm like, I really can't. I don't want to. And he's like, he just. Man. The stuff he told me. And that is one of the problems that I have with religion, is when I got into an argument with my sister's brother-in-law. I brought up a certain serial killer that did gruesome things to his victims, and I said, this dude, if he is honest and ultimately feels like Jesus Christ is his Savior, he will go to heaven, as long as he accepts it in his heart. And he goes, yes. And I go, well, this, right before our execution, that'll work. He's going to heaven. And he goes, yes, as long as he. And I go, even if he's scared that he's about to die and opens himself up wholly into something that he's never believed at all in his life, and just happens to be right, out of the 116 religions that are out there, he happens to stumble upon the one religion that was actually right. He does the rule where he's like, Jesus Christ is my Savior, and then he gets in. Like, all of that just happens to work where, ding, he lives a life of pure evil and then finds eternal happiness, kind of out of like a desperate luck. If you're looking at it at an unbiased viewpoint, you might say, if you looked at his life in peg lines, you might say, Oh, what the fuck? Wait, what? Wait, what? And he's like, well, I mean, you're making light of this and da 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 da. I'm like, no, no, dude. Like, I have a problem with that. Like, I've prayed like 2 times in my life, 3 times in my life when my dad died. Um, when I was trying to get a job, I was, still talking to my sister and everything like that. Um, so the, religion was leaking in. They just had a really good house band. And so she'd be like, Sunday, she'd be like, hey, you want to go to church? And I'm like, yeah, bet. I'd get stoned and just, this dude was awesome. He was like, he had this awesome blend of like Sawyer Brown and like Neil Diamond. Like, just awesome. But I prayed for a job, and then I mean, you pray when you're scared, but and that's why I love the idea of religion, inspiring hope and stuff like that. But I mean, we're to the point now where morally people should know what the fuck right and wrong is, you know. And if your religion doesn't help curb the things that are obviously against your religion, theft, child molestation, covering that up with murders, might be a bad institution. But yeah, let's wrap that one up with ripping on the church, shall we? That's right. We're over an hour into it, Chico. Nobody's even watching. If you finished this all out, no, last time I did this, only my girl did it. But yeah, if you did manage to make it this long, comment. Even better, share something. Peace out.